Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this November the 5th, 2025. And the key questions in today's gold and silver bullion update are the DGB. It is now up 23% today. It is continuing to pump in the momentum from over the weekend when our fabulous subscriber brought it to our attention. You do know I have about 160,000 DGBs as I've been promoting for about 6 months that 2026 into 2027 is the year DGB and the year of the AMP. And you can see now it's up 74%, over 100% from its swing low if we look at the chart. Will that can continue, or is this going to be a quick reversal and a harsh sell-off trying to get new buyers, or is this the beginning of the two top performing coins in 2026, and it's starting now in November? Is that what's happening? Is the Bitcoin price hitting a bottom of about 100,000? Is Ethereum going deeper down towards 3,000, or are we going to have a sharp and big reversal now, starting with the 4% today and across the sphere, the XLM and the XRP? Is the bearish signals done? Are the bulls taking back over? And is the euphoric blow off top, the starting stage is just now getting underway? These will all be answered in today's video. And we're going to start in with the DGB so we don't forget about it. You can see we've been watching this the last couple of days on the pump, and you can see we've had now 3 consecutive days in a row, actually 4, of increasing volume. Day one started here on Saturday last week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sharply increasing volume and a very bullish price action. And that's very bullish. And now here's today's volume. And by me just looking at it at the point of the day where we're at, I would say we're going to increase and beat out for a 5th consecutive day. And if that's the case now, I would say that's bringing in a very realistic shot now that we could make a full lateral move from near the all-time low all the way up here to major upper resistance, something that we haven't hit since way back here at about 1 year ago during the Donald Trump November pump. But the major upper resistance to get there is right here at 0.0157. And that's what we're going to continue to watch right here. You can see it. It can't be any more clear. And you can see actually in the daily, we're going to have a bullish cross for the first time in a long time in the DGB where the 50 by the end of the week, unless there's a massive sell-off, we'll get on top of the 100-day longer time frame moving average, right? That's a bullish cross. You can see we haven't had a bullish cross in a while since the springtime, but it was only a brief bullish cross. So that's what you're going to want to watch out for. This volume in the daily down here, each daily candle you want to see continue to be higher than the previous day while the price is rising. If you get a day or two or three where the volume isn't as great and it starts to level off and is slightly less, you would like to see a slight consolidation in the price action, right? So that's what we're going to be watching. But right now it's bullish. I am forecasting this to be the 5th consecutive day in increasing volume in the DGB. Obviously, the major underneath support here in the short term that I can give you is the 200-day in the daily and the 0.00838 in yellow. And then we went over where your major overhead resistances are. The AMP, could this be about where we're going to start to have a nice pump? It is possible because it's overdue. And just like the DGB, as all these other altcoins were sort of pumping and the major cap coins and dumping over the last 6 months, the AMP and the DGB have primarily just been beaten down, right? So if this is to make a 100% move from getting close to its all-time low from current price, you'd be looking for a move back up near the 0.00470, where we've gotten up a few times and had major rejections, right? So at first starts, you got to get over the moving averages in the daily time frame and turn those from being drastically descending like DGB did and flip them to become bullish and actually uptrending and start to use them as support, right? So that's what we got to do here in the DGB or in the AMP. And as you do know, I have over 1 million coins. For all transparency, I'm not a financial advisor, nor would I ever tell you to buy, sell, trade, anything. I'm just showing you what I'm personally doing to become an asset millionaire and seeing if you want to follow along, participate, and get educated on things you may not have even looked at, known, or thought about prior to my journey and my sharing of what I've learned, right? And if you want to help support the channel, it's free to hit that bell notification and share this and comment to move us and push us through the YouTube sphere. And if you feel the need and get any information or content or value out of this that enhances your portfolio and investing strategy, feel free to become a member of Jabroni Killer. That's the best way, and I get lots of emails on how to help support the channel, and that's the best way. And I made it as cheap to start at $3.99 a month to help support the channel. It doesn't get any cheaper than that to help support a channel that gives you education and information if you feel the need to do that. But AMP, I do have about just under 1.1 million coins. I did buy. My average price is sitting right in there, 0.003, just above that major pattern support and just below where it kept getting rejected, right? So as you do know, my track and I am calling with DGB the year 2026, the year DGB and AMP. I think they're going to be the top two performing coins and assets in the crypto sphere, right? And there's my targets by the end of next year and going into 2027. And I think our rewards will be reaped for being patient at point zero 0.02 to point zero 0.05. And if we look at the Bitcoin price, we talked about that in the intro. You can see we've had a big fall and we got bounced just above the 95,000. And now this is something that we talked about. There could be a bounce before you get there. We did have our bearish cross. You can see the 50-day moving average is underneath the 100-day or the medium term moving average, and the 200-day moving average is slightly, ever so slightly moving and trending down now, which is very interesting. And this is the little rally we talked about just before you get up there. Now, what I think's happening, what I'm officially calling for, and you can mark that and book it, I think you could trade back up into these falling moving averages right around where the 200 is, and I think it's going to get rejected, whether it's this weekend, tomorrow, today, or sometime next week. I think you're going to end up down at 95,000 and change. And for that to be invalidated, and I have to make this very clear, for that to be invalidated, we would have to come up and retest the rising channel resistance before we hit 95 to be invalidated. But I don't think it's going to do that. My official call is to come down to 95 and potentially $79,000, right? In the short term. If you want to get bullish, though, you got to get back on top of these three moving averages here and hold them, and then you can start a short-term bullish trend versus this bearish trend that we've been in. So that's where we're at with the Bitcoin price. I got a time check. Oh, well, I started this video early today. We're good. We're going to move to the Ethereum price. You can see the Ethereum price got beat down. Look at that. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? And this is the value and the power of watching Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing as we shoot you with truth, simple to understand and easy things to follow. And we told you on this breakdown last week, if we could not hold this during this big consolidation, you would slip back down to the 3466 because the 200-day wouldn't hold, which it didn't, and you're going to have a bearish cross here. You can see the 50 in red will get below the 100 in blue there in the daily time frame. Then we said if it slipped the 3466, you would hit 3068. And look at that. Look at where the wick came down to. It wicked exactly down to that technical level and then traded up back to another technical level, which is the top part of this green support and resistance box. And if you can't get back above that, eventually what usually happens is even if you do this and peak above it, you eventually trade back down to that wick because it has a liquidity pull. It must reach and must fill down there. So that's what we're going to be watching out for. But it's beautiful when the things that we're lining up play out, because they don't always play out, as you've seen multiple times through the history of this channel, because nobody knows what's going to go on in the market. We just, as I say to you, people that are trying to time buys or swing trade, etc., you're just trying to put the weight, the probabilities more in your favor than in the house or the manipulated facilitators of the market, right? So that's what's going on in the Ethereum price. The XLM price is the same thing. We came down beautifully. We had the golden bearish cross now where the 50 is underneath not only the 100-day moving average in blue, but it did go over the long-term moving average in green, right? And we did fail to hold the 50-day and the weekly, and we wicked down exactly to the 25 cents in blue or the 100-day moving average. And now, like we were talked about, you would expect a brief bounce, which we have gotten up to here. You could come all the way back up in to the weekly time frame 50, but if you trade back down to the 25, you're probably not going to hold it, and the next major move would be down to the 200-day in the weekly time frame down there at 21 cents. Again, something Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing was outlining for you during this whole move, and we really started to harp on it to make sure to press and not let mix any words and leave no doubt that when you have this 60% flush in a lot of these altcoins with the wick down, all the way down there. We said we thought it would trade back down there. One, liquidity pull. Two, everybody on social media, retail, mainstream to everything in between thought the November pump was going to happen, just like the last three Novembers, Decembers leading into the new year. Which was only a recent thing the last couple of years since COVID. They all bought that, and the market had other ideas for maximum pain. But we were warning of that, and you can see that it's very plausible that you could come to some deep, dark, depressing levels. We're going to have to stay on top of that. And I will stay on top of that for you. The same thing with the XRP. We failed to hold major support levels all through this area, right? And we told you, and we were warning about with this 60%, 50% dump due to lack of liquidity, which is very concerning if you're going to keep large amounts of your net worth in a crypto for long periods of time. Something like that is very concerning. We told you on the way down to the 50, you wouldn't be able to hold. Besides a slight bounce, if you can't hold that, like we show you in yellow, you're going to end up down at the $1.77 or the weekly time frame 100-day moving average, right? And you can see we're just about to have a bearish cross, a golden, not just a bearish, a golden bearish cross where the 50, the short term, and the daily is going to knife through today or tonight below the 200-day in the daily time frame, and that's a golden bearish cross. They have the shorter term moving average on the bottom of the medium and long term moving averages, which all that means in simple terms, my friends out here, is it's been a sustained downturn. And you can see since mid-July, it's been a sustained downturn, right? So it verifies and checks out. That's all that means. When you hear the fancy lingo, like the channel, subscribe. I got to get on going back into this work where I hurt my knee and got a big bump, and it hurts, but I'm not a pussy or a whiner. I'm not looking for workman's comp, but it does hurt. Um, but I must go back in there after voicing displeasures on Monday and doing the forbidden thing, which you do not speak of at this company. And I've gotten evil ass stares for a few days. So we'll keep you updated on that and everything that's going on in the crypto sphere. Peace and love. The Rock's eyebrow. Jai.